What it do, cuckolds? It's your boy, the hater, up in this piece. And it's time. Today is the day of Survivor Series War Games. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't explain, once again, that I hate War Games, right? War Games itself, I don't have much of a problem with, but I hate how it has taken over Survivor Series. Now, maybe it would be okay to have War Games and have Survivor Series, right? Meaning that some mid-card feuds, mid-card matches could be handled in Survivor Series. You could put like a team Cody Rhodes together versus a team Kevin Owens. I don't know. Maybe Cody Rhodes and like a few of the Latino wrestlers that are faces versus Kevin Owens and like Legado del Fantasma. I don't know. I don't care, right? But you could promote other things. And in my opinion, the Bloodline match makes more sense as a Survivor Series traditional elimination match because then you can stack the deck. You can leave it so it's like Roman versus Solo and Jacob and have Roman beat them both, right? That could be something cool, but they're not going with that. So personally, I hate War Games only because it has destroyed Survivor Series. Back when War Games was an NXT thing, that was okay, right? Because it's like, okay, cool. You watch the NXT quote-unquote pay-per-view to get the War Games, and then you get Survivor Series afterwards. So it's like you get the best of both worlds. Now, you only get one, and it's boring-ass matches. But let's run down through the cards, make our predictions, and get to it. First of all, I'm told that the pay-per-view starts at 6 p.m. God knows how long this is going to be. I understand that the War Games matches are long, so that it is what it is, right? It's long, and I get it. But there's only 5 matches on this pay-per-view. If this thing starts at 6 and ends at around 11, 5 hours and 5 matches is insufficient. But let's get through the matches. So one of the matches that we have to look forward to is Gunther versus Damian Priest. I don't see a scenario where anything happens other than Gunther wins clean, right? I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen, and that the whole point of this match is to establish Gunther as a dominant champion once again. I don't think you needed all of this to do that, but this is the path they've chosen, right? They basically thought, okay, we can waste 1 month by turning Gunther into a massive cuck, and then waste another month to rehabilitate him as a dominant champion by beating the guy that cucked him. That's what we're seeing happen before our eyes. Damian Priest is going to be the victim in this situation. He's going to get his ass beat. And in my opinion, it's going to be a clean win for Gunther, right? Now, the hater would be remiss if the hater didn't consider the possibility that the hater is wrong, right? It's obviously possible that Damian Priest could win the title, But I just don't see it happening. I put the probability of that happening at like 1%, you know what I mean? So not 0, but basically 0. There's no point in discussing it. Then we have the Women's War Games match. Now, this is a rare example of a big-time gimmick match. And honestly, I shouldn't say a rare example because ain't nothing rare about what we're seeing right now, you know what I'm saying? We see this all the time. But this is an example of a big-time gimmick match that has absolutely 0 consequence. In other words, it makes absolutely no difference whether the face team wins or the heel team wins. This is ridiculous. The logic of any kind of gimmick match is that it causes some sort of finality between the storyline. But because this isn't a storyline, this is just thrown together because they looked at the calendar and said, oh shit, it's time for War Games. Let's throw something together. Because this went down like that, then we have the situation that we have. Now, War Games has potential when there are scenarios that make sense. So there was one, it was like a triple threat War Games, right? Or maybe it was like a one-on-one. I don't remember exactly, but I remember it was like the AOP and Roderick Strong versus the Undisputed Era, right? And that's when Roderick Strong joined the Undisputed Era and betrayed everybody, right? And that was something where it was like, all right, at least the Undisputed Era is a team, right? They're like a team that's been established already, and they're going to be in War Games because they're a team, right? You hate the whole team. In this case, that's not what's happening. In this case, people are being thrown together. And I ask anybody to explain to me what the difference is if the faces win versus if the heels win. And there is no difference. Nobody's going to care one way or the other, right? It doesn't make a difference at all. Now, with all that being said, then the logic of the match is whoever hurts who more is what matters, right? That's all that matters because there is no greater story here. Now, there could be, because in this match, we have Tiffy time, you know what I'm saying? So if Tiffany Stratton decides to cash in the Money in the Bank on either, obviously Nia would make the most sense, but she might cash in on Liv Morgan, that's pretty cool, right? That would be unprecedented because you're pretty much throwing away this match completely and you're making it all about yourself, which would be consistent with someone like Edge and even someone like Tiffany Stratton. I don't think they're smart enough to do this, and if they did, then they would have to hear what all the neckbeards are saying, which is, wow, they ruined the match. They took the spotlight from the women, right? It's just like when Carmella won the women's Money in the Bank when James Ellsworth helped her. They're like, oh, I took it away from the women. It's like, shut your mouth, you know what I mean? Like, that was awesome. But anyways, neither here nor there. But this match is completely meaningless. I don't know who's going to win, and I don't care as to who's going to win. I think the better question is, will Tiffany Stratton cash in, or will she not? The smart money says she will not. The intelligent decision would be for her to do it. But they're not intelligent. Now, if I had to guess who's going to win, I'm going to guess the faces are going to win. But I don't really give a shit, right? A lot of things could happen here, and none of them have any kind of, like, variability that matters, right? There's a lot of variability who can pin who, but none of it matters, right? In other words, there's no difference if Rhea Ripley pins Liv Morgan, or if Liv Morgan pins Tiffany Stratton, or if Tiffany Stratton pins, like, I don't know, fucking Bayley, right? None of these things matter at all, right? There is nothing to look forward to in this match, and this match, in my opinion, serves as the bathroom break. Except, remember when we had bathroom breaks during shit matches? That was because back in the day, the wrestling pay-per-view was like boom, 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 match, match, match. Now, once the match is over, you have 30 minutes to go take a massive dump. You know what I'm saying? Go smoke a cigarette, order some food, maybe even eat the food before the next match starts. So, bathroom breaks are out, and this match is in. Then we've got Braun Breaker versus Sheamus versus Ludwig Kaiser. The only benefit of this is that Braun Breaker gets a pay-per-view match. That's it. Everything else is immaterial. This match has Raw written all over it. This could very easily be one of the main events of Raw, or even a mid-card match on Raw, as it was the previous week and the week before that, right? It was Braun Breaker versus Sheamus, then Braun versus Ludwig Kaiser, right? Same thing is happening now, except it's all happening simultaneously. I don't care what happens. I'm going to say Braun Breaker wins, but it would be cool to see Sheamus win. It would even be cool to see Ludwig Kaiser win, just for the surprise factor. But I would not be upset if Braun Breaker loses the Intercontinental title, because then he can move on to wrestle Gunther. I don't know what they're going to do, and I don't care, but the match is immaterial. Again, if I had to guess, my money is that Braun Breaker is going to win it. But there you have it, right? Next up, we've got LA Knight versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Now, I thought that if you wanted to present the returning Nakamura, the wayward samurai, you know what I'm saying? If you wanted to present him as a new guy, right, then the way to do this would have been different. Yesterday, he would have squashed Andrade. I almost forgot who he wrestled. He would have squashed Andrade, and then he would have done the mist on a almost dead Andrade, right? Basically, Andrade is like just incapacitated. You can bury Andrade all you want because this guy's a jobber. Like, it doesn't matter if he takes like 100 losses in a row. But like, you know, Andrade is like struggling. He lifts him up and just misses him at close range just to show that he's not fucking around. This didn't happen. So now, instead, what is going to happen is him versus LA Knight. Based solely on the fact that Andrade was competitive against Nakamura, I don't see a scenario in which Nakamura wins, right? Normally, it would be 50-50 because Nakamura could be the United States champion. But because Nakamura hasn't wrestled since April, right, there is no reason why he deserves the title, and there's no reason why he should win the title from LA Knight. At the very least, the U.S. title keeps LA Knight relevant to a degree, in the sense that it keeps him on TV. Because nobody's going after this title against Cody Rhodes. But it'd be cool if LA Knight did. So if Nakamura wins, hopefully then LA Knight can move on to the main event. But I don't see that happening. So therefore, I'm putting it at 98% chance LA Knight wins. Then we've got the Men's Survivor Series. War Games, match, right? Now, this match also has no implications, right? If this match had some stipulation that suggested that whatever happens to this match, this feud is over, and the winner is the absolute winner, or the winner is the tribal chief, then this match would be very, very important and very, very interesting, because it would represent the culmination of a multi-month and arguably multi-year storyline. However, this is not what we're seeing, right? What we're seeing is just the next chapter in it. This is evidenced by the fact that now half the people involved have nothing to do with the bloodline. You understand? Half these motherfuckers have no reason to be there. And it's Sami Zayn, fucking Tama Tonga, fucking obviously CM Punk. You know what I mean? These guys have no business being there. Now, nevertheless, it is what it is. the match, I'm sure, is going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. And the Samoans, where they stand, they are what they are, right? They are a family, and like they do, do some family shit. They have some family feuds, and I will concede that the Samoan moveset, for what it is, I think is conducive to this type of match, right? For example, like the splash that Jimmy Uso does, nothing crazy. But if he does it from the top of the cage, that's pretty cool, right? And some shit like that needs to go down. So there is a family dynamic, right? Even though it involves half the people. There is a propensity for cool shit that I will say the Samoan moveset, limited as it is good for these kinds of matches. And there is, like, I hate to say it, but I have to admit it, like, there has been a fleshing out of at least some of these characters. So in other words, when it's Sami Zayn's turn to join the fray, it's different than when it's like, I don't know, Dakota Kai or Tegan Nox's turn to join the fray in one of their matches, right? It's like, oh shit, here comes Sami. Oh shit, here comes Camacho even, right? And obviously the big ones are Roman Reigns at this point, CM Punk, Jey Uso is third on that team. And then on the other team, you obviously have, you have Solo, goes without saying, and of course, Jacob Fatu is a big deal. They have presented him as a difference maker, etc., etc. However, this doesn't change the fact that no matter what happens, nothing changes, right? So, that sounds like a horrible thing. But in my opinion, it is a little bit of a good thing because we all know, right? We all know in our hearts that obviously Roman Reigns is going to come out on top of this feud when it's all said and done. When the dust settles, he will be on top. So the fact that this is not the part where the dust settles means that the match has a small level of unpredictability. Now, there is no way, and the hater means no way, that the new bloodline is beating the old bloodline clean, right? But this is not a clean match. However, if, for example, The Rock interferes, I highly doubt it. If, for example, it turns out, let's say, this would be like a classic Heyman twist, right? That Heyman betrays Roman Reigns and CM Punk and joins Solo Sikoa. Or Heyman and CM Punk betray Roman Reigns and say, go fuck yourself, right? And either join Solo Sikoa or just go off on their own. If anything like this happens, this opens the door for Solo Sikoa to win the match. And now, if he does, then the next step is obviously the same. Roman, Solo, tribal chief match, right? Tribal warfare. Maybe they'll have a Nigerian drum match. But the fact that this is not, as far as I can tell, this match has not been presented as the final chapter indicates that there is a chance that Solo Sikoa's team wins. However, I'm not dumb, and I'm going to assume that the Roman Reigns team is going to win. The only thing, the only positive of the Paul Heyman, CM Punk, Roman Reigns interview on SmackDown was that Paul Heyman presented this entire thing not as the end of something, not as the end of the feud. He said, with CM Punk and Roman united, blah, 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 we have a chance of surviving, which implies that there's more to it, right? Paul Heyman, as the wise man, is not even concerned with completely eradicating and or destroying the new bloodline. His goal is survival, cucks. And if his goal is survival, that means that this shit's gonna keep going. And honestly, why wouldn't it, right? The only way this feud ends is if Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa stare each other down, they sign a contract that says, if I win, your shit's done. And if you win, my shit's done, right? That's the only way this works. Because, or if Roman Reigns wins the title. That's another thing that people don't even think about. If Roman Reigns is the WWE champion, it doesn't matter if Solo Sikoa is like, I'm the tribal chief. Okay, great, fantastic, I'm the champion. Right? You know what I mean? Like, that's the ultimate prize. The ultimate prize in the context of the WWE, even though it's been diluted now, is still being WWE champion. So I don't care if you like think you're the leader of some tribe. The only reason why it made sense when Roman Reigns was like, I'm the tribal chief, acknowledge me, to Jey Uso, was because he was the WWE champion. Because just because you're the WWE champion doesn't mean that you're the boss of me. That's the argument, right? Simple as that. And Roman Reigns isn't going to say, I'm the WWE champion, Solo, now I'm the boss of you. He's going to say, I'm the WWE champion, go fuck your mother, right? And Solo's going to say, I'm the tribal chief. Fantastic. I'm the WWE champion. I'm going to main event WrestleMania, and you're going to be in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. You see what I'm getting at here? But they're not going to go down that route because they're not smart enough, quite frankly. But the reality is this. Until the match, whatever the fuck it's going to be, maybe a Nigerian drum match, like I said, until the match is explicitly stated as being the end of the storyline, then there is no reason to believe that come Friday night, next Friday that is, right? There's no reason to think that Solo Sikoa won't come out and say, fuck you, I'm still the tribal chief, right? Oh, you beat me, great, I'm still the tribal chief. What stops Solo Sikoa from continuing to say that he's the tribal chief, right? Maybe if Roman Reigns pins him, then he has to take a step back or something. But the fact of the matter is this. Until Roman can beat him in a one-on-one match for the tribal chiefdom, then this feud is not going to end. Now, by turn, this begs the question. Well, if that's how it is, and we all know that that is how it is, because number one, I just told you, and number two, the haters' fans are intelligent, so they get it. If that's how it is, then why the fuck did we waste 6 months of our time doing these ridiculous matches, begging Sami Zayn, hanging out with fucking Bronson Reed? Why did this even happen? Why not just go back, right? Night one, Roman Reigns is back. He costs Solo the title. He says, Solo, you're getting a little bit too big for your britches. I challenge you for the tribal chiefdom, right? And then Solo Sikoa just gets his ass beat, right? Everyone interferes. It's just Roman Reigns on one side and the entire bloodline, the new bloodline on the other side. And Roman Reigns just overcomes the odds. He just pulls a John Cena and overcomes the odds. Then we move on with our lives. That's what's going to happen anyways. Maybe Solo Sikoa will be stopped by the Usos here and there, and Roman will eventually win. But it's going to happen like that anyways, right? Under no circumstances is this feud going to end with Solo Sikoa on top as a main eventer and Roman Reigns as his inferior or as a mid-carder. Of course not, right? So all of these things are a colossal waste of fucking time. And with that being said, and with everybody saying hater rules, that's going to be it for my Survivor Series predictions. Somehow this video made it to 17 minutes, despite the fact that we only have 5 matches to talk about. And I don't attribute this to any kind of good booking or any kind of logical consistency from the WWE. I attribute this to the haters' bravado, loquaciousness, and my ability to talk on the fly about even the most boring of things, including Solo Sikoa and I love you, my tribal chief. I love you. I love you. Yoel, the Samoan werewolf, Romero, a.k.a. Cuckolds, Jacob Fatu. Now, with that being said, I look forward to the pay-per-view only because I look forward to seeing what's going to happen next. At these big pay-per-views, there's always a small chance that the match ends, and then, I don't know, fuck it. Roman Reigns, is celebrating, and The Rock comes and lays that smackdown. You know what I mean? Anything like that could happen. That's all that we care about. So we'll see tomorrow, cuckolds. We'll see tomorrow. And by tomorrow, I mean in a few hours, because obviously I recorded this video before. Cucks!